Do we have, how many folks still want to testify? And let me just get a feel for, I'm sorry, I should have asked it this way. How many more do we have that would testify in favor? 1, 2, and then how many more does?
Me too.
You're just going to say me too when you come up? Okay. And how many to speak against? 1 more? Okay. Why don't we have, and how many of you are just going to come up and say me too, which is the preferred thing right now? Okay. All right, so why don't, you're for and you're against. Okay, why don't you come up right now and very quickly,
Yes.
again, I apologize, but.
Thank you very much for your time. My name is Shannon Wells. I am the Director of Operations with Kansas City Pet Project. And I know you heard testimony from someone from the city saying that they were against it, but I want you to know that the organization that operates the shelter is in support of it. We've seen the adverse effects. Mandatory spay and neuter, it seems to be targeting unfairly lower income populations. All the research suggests that these individuals would be more likely to be in compliance if services were affordable and if they were targeted at the appropriate communities. I do want to address a couple of other things. We don't need to create policies to regulate animals based on the way that they look. You can create policies based on demonstrated behavior. So I think people are arguing that their hands will be tied, but the reality is if an animal is behaving poorly, you can address it on a policy based on behavior only. The other thing is, it's wrong to regulate certain breeds because you're afraid they will attract the wrong kind of owners. Organizations that have shelters can deny because it is the wrong owner, not because of the breed that they want. So I think that there are a lot of other avenues to be able to address some of the concerns that don't require these organizations simply to create policies that are restrictive of breeds.
Very good, thank you for your testimony. Do we have questions for this witness? All right, thank you, and I'm sorry, did you leave a witness form?
I did.
All right, if you would introduce yourself, and again, I apologize, super
I
quick.
understand, I'll try to make it quick. My name is Patty Lundgren, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm here today to ask that you vote down Senate Bill 865. This bill would negate all dog breed specific laws. I have my own personal story. I personally do not believe that it's the owner. I actually believe it's the dog breed. In 2010, while taking care of my mother-in-law's 2 Yorkshire Terriers and my own dog, a Cocker Spaniel, I let them out in our 6-foot fenced-in, privacy fenced-in yard. And 2 of them came in. The smallest Yorkie was still out wandering the yard when I went back in the house. All of a sudden, the other Yorkie was barking furiously at the back patio door. I ran to the door and looked out, and one of the pit bulls had actually come through the 6-foot wooden fence and killed the smaller Yorkie. Of course, this was not a fun thing to tell my mother-in-law about. Thankfully, I was not in the yard, or I believe I may have been maimed or killed. We also had 3 other incidences with these dogs trying to either dig under the fence. Twice while my husband was mowing the yard, the dogs got upset about this and started ripping out huge chunks of the fence with their teeth.
Thank you.
I've heard the,
Thank you for your testimony. Do we have questions for this witness, quickly? All right, very good. If you would leave your witness form, and then if the Me Too's would come forward and just state your name and leave your witness form.
Phoebe Barnett, from the Professionals for Humane and Safe Kansas City. And I just submitted my testimony.
For the bill or against? Support the bill. Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Heath Clarkson here on behalf of the Missouri Veterinary Medical Association. Support passed along a hearing or a support letter, and I'd like to add that we believe a dog should be judged by their actions, not the breed.
Well, while I appreciate the support of the veterinarians, I will remind you that was more than Me Too.
Me too, plus.
All right, well, thank you. And having no other business coming before the committee, we are adjourned.